All right, in other news, Chief Executive of the CEO Network Ghana, organizer of the Ghana CEO Summit, Ernest de Graft Ejiri, has underscored the need for public-private partnerships for economic diversification and sustained growth whilst leveraging the benefits of artificial intelligence. He spoke to Joy Business at the 8th Ghana CEO Summit in Accra.
The one-day 8th Ghana CEO Summit focused on the theme Reigniting Business and Economic Growth, Charting a Path Forward, Economic Diversification and Artificial Intelligence Transformation. In an interview with Joy Business, Ernest de Graft Ejiri, the Chief Executive Officer of the CEO Network Ghana, emphasized that this year's theme highlights the critical need for collaboration between Ghana's private and public sectors to navigate a rapidly evolving global landscape.
It's been so many years in Ghana with this cyclical pattern of 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And Ghana is not still able, through the public service, to have a potent, what do we call, public sector regulation framework. And that is a serious problem. And it is on that note that the CEO Summit continue to be proactive about themes like this. Well, why have we combined AI to it? Because we are believing that, and we have supported the government through our thought leadership platform in the digitalization drive of the Vice President and then the current administration. Because we believe that it's a good platform to help prepare Ghana to achieving having one of the best business regulatory environment. Hence the AI as an application and an outcome, a beneficial one of the digitalization policies that the country is still working on.
Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia underscored the importance of the private sector in driving Ghana's digitalization efforts.
One of the things about the digitalization drive that I have led, which I have learned a lot from, is that if properly structured, the private sector will do it. Most of the things that we have done in the digital space has been through the private sector, whether it's the Ghana card, where you have the upfront loading by the private sector and then they make a fee, whether it's the same thing with the digital address system, the networking of the hospitals, Ghana.gov, all of these things have been spearheaded. So government is not uploading and spending upfront.
Former President John Dramani Mahama expressed optimism about the potential of artificial intelligence.
The convergence of economic diversification and artificial intelligence presents us with a unique opportunity to drive sustainable growth and prosperity for our dear country, Ghana. We will review our digitalization policy in order to expand it to cater for AI. We will speed up the rollout of 5G so that we can take full advantage of what AI has to offer. Prioritize the need of Ghanaian businesses, ensuring that they have the tools and opportunities to thrive and succeed and contribute meaningfully to Ghana's prosperity.
The summit also recognized several chief executives for their outstanding leadership and significant impact across various industries. The Ghana CEO Summit annually brings together over 500 top CEOs, heads of states, entrepreneurs, and business leaders from across West Africa and around the world.
Well, and I need to add that the Chief Operating Officer of the Multimedia Group, Ken Ansah, was adjudged CEO of the Year, Media Space, that is in 2023. Congratulations to him. Great time to introduce you to our new segment on the marketplace. We call it The Exchange, where we engage business personalities on various topical issues that would help propel growth. Well, leveraging AI has been a key topic at the ongoing Ghana CEO Summit, but how can CEOs leverage that to propel growth in the organizations? Let's delve into it. Exchanging ideas with me this afternoon is Philip Gamel, who is Chief Executive of Web and Software. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Darren.
You were at the CEO Summit yesterday.
Yes.
Tell me what your impressions are, especially the spotlight put on artificial intelligence.
Fantastic. And I loved particularly seeing the lead candidate in this year's election delve into AI and how they hope to use it.
For the NDC, you mean?
Oh, no, later Bawumia
both,
joined
sure.
for both of the leading candidates. John Mahama was there physically. He mentioned using AI in the space of Galamsey fight. I would love to see this happen because it's the only way to,
it'll be interesting how
do
that
it
plays
the
out.
most. Yes. Once you take human out of something that is potentially susceptible to corruption, then you are going to get a result you want immediately. That is something government should start looking at and doing, even before the elections.
All right, and so these are political candidates talking about what they're going to be using artificial intelligence for. So let's head into our corporate organizations, why it is important for every CEO to have an AI strategy.
AI has come to stay. And I like the fact that even in a country like Ghana, this is becoming center stage in discussions. What it means is that CEOs cannot be left out of the fray. If you want your company to grow, if you want your company to be futuristic and to be able to be part of the new economy, we are living in an AI economy. I've heard so many CEOs during the meeting walk to me and say, Philip, organizations are becoming like apps, like you always tell us, and like 6 CEOs coming. These were people that previously were not very receptive to technology.
Right.
But in the space of business today, if you do not evolve with changing times, if you do not build new strategies and you are able to weave everything, you are going to be, lost out on business. And why this is so important for CEOs is that in as much as perfecting the algorithms and thinking about technology, the tech part, it is also important to reimagine the business operating models. And that's something CEOs do with their leadership teams. For you to be able to leverage AI effectively as a CEO, it is time to start having conversations with your management team. You must reconsider and reimagine the roles, the responsibilities of your team, and the culture. And that's integral to the work of the CEO. They must take center stage in leading this strategy and formulate a whole new way of working. And I believe if they begin to invest more in the people, in the reason, in the possibilities, they'll begin to reap the benefits almost immediately.
Talk to us a bit more about how CEOs can align AI initiatives with their corporate vision.
There are 3 things CEOs must do: processes, their people, and most importantly, the potential. So you take the potential. They must be able to sit down and assess the current business as is. This is something every CEO must do. You sit down and assess the way the business operates, the current operating model, and what AI could enable the business to do. Because if you are achieving revenue at this level without AI implementation, I'm telling you, AI can take it way above the roof. If your expenses are above the roof, AI can help you to bring it down.
Really?
But you must be able to sit down and reassess the operating model by looking at the potential. What can AI augment my people to be able to achieve? Then you come into the people, because most people would want to invest in the technology and just bring tools and say, let's start using it. No. You must think, we are now talking about the corporate setting. So you must be able to now develop, there must be upskilling, there must be role rationalization and responsibility rationalization, because you have to reimagine the roles. The roles do not exist in an AI-driven organization in the traditional setting. So you must take the traditional roles and optimize them for AI. That will need some reskilling, upskilling, training here and there. You must develop the human potential. You must, talk about the culture, and you must be able to foster the adoption of AI so that they see it as a junior colleague, something that's helping them achieve the result than fighting it. And the last one is the processes. You must now relook and remodel all your processes. This would mean training your managers and helping them to be able to understand whether they are using generative AI or they are just replacing roles and responsibilities completely with some AI and changing roles of other people within the organization. So it's not going to be a one strategy fit all. You would have to invest in looking at your unique business and the capabilities that AI makes possible. And then you begin to build your strategy around that. The organization must be built around an AI strategy. So once you've developed the AI strategy, you begin to now change. There must be a change management system in place to make sure that the business is not just using AI, it's fueled by the AI.
All right. I know globally governments are trying to develop a framework to govern the implementation of artificial intelligence. Even Ghana, last year, we heard the communications minister talk about government coming up with a policy. And so how can CEOs put together a framework to manage and govern AI?
Okay, aside these 3 keys, that must be the consideration. The first thing they must do is to be able to develop a strategy around how they could foster the adoption across the enterprise. Mm-hmm. You must look at enterprise, the commerce, the commercial, and then also what is in it, what is the what drives, what's the vision for the AI? Because AI can do so many things. You need to look specifically in targeted areas. I was having a conversation on the sidelines with one of the CEOs at the event, my friend Magdan, and I was telling him how AI could do specific things in his electrochem business. And it was like bewildered. He wants to do it almost immediately. Because if you just want to sit back without finding the specific areas where you want to invest, then if you don't have a sense of direction, any route leads you. So you need to have a clear sense of direction. The other thing they would have to do is to activate the levers that enable AI adoption in the enterprise. So the strategy must encompass all those things. You must look at how to invest, whether you are going to invest in the hardware, you are going to invest in apps that already exist, but then the data also. Then we talk about the data quality, because AI works on trained data. So you cannot go for generative AI that is developed anywhere else. If you're a banking institution, you're an insurance company, you're a real estate company, you don't want to use the general market fit for everybody, everyday use kind of AI. You need to have your own trained data in-house so that it's speaking your values, it's speaking your culture, it's speaking everything in-house. So there's a lot of work to be done. CEOs must start rolling their sleeves and learn about AI, not just talk about it. Mm-hmm. It's time to find out how can we use this practically to optimize our work, make us more efficient and effective, increase revenue. That's where you must look. Increase revenue, decrease cost, and be able to generally take the business from this point of talking about AI to really using it and making sure you can derive the full benefits.
Yeah, and so while they're rolling up their sleeves, what sort of infrastructure do they have to put in place? And I mean, it also requires some talent. So how do you, source for your talents in that regard?
The answer I give most people is to first of all start from the assessment. Every organization must first of all do a proper assessment of where the organization is today and what AI would potentially take them. Immediately that is done and you have a clear strategy, you are able to see in the execution between your assets and where you are going to is your execution. It brings up automatically the new roles you need to engage. And most importantly, look within the organization. There must be some training. For most companies we are helping implement this for, we come into the organizations and we want to train the people in there because it works in 3 stacks. There's the training data, the foundational data set, which is the general frameworks for the ChatGPT, the T for Transformer and all that. And then on top of it is the training data layer. You can train your workers in this. If you go into the foundational stack where if you are buying something from AWS, or the hardware from Amazon or something, you are going to have that as the base. But on top of it, your own training data comes on top. You can train your workers in it. And then also on the top is where you build the models or the apps. So there's going to be a lot of work, learning, understanding, and finding out which in-house resource you could optimize and train to leverage on. And then also which new roles. I see the possibility where you'd have to employ people to do a lot of data analytics, some data scientists,
right.
Depending on how big the organization is and the investment.
All right. And so final question, because we're running out of time, how can CEOs use AI to maintain their dominance in the market, stay ahead of competition, and you can add your partner worth it? Okay.
So the first thing is that if you're a CEO and you do not have an AI implementation or development strategy for your enterprise, you must predict to be out of the market within the next 5 years. If you survive it, you won't survive the next 5. So you would need immediately to sit down, assess, and develop a strategy. After you've developed this strategy, you need to be able to convince the team to come along with it. That's your people development strategy, because your culture must change. You must be able to transform roles. You must be able to transform responsibilities. The receptionist could do something, but augmented by AI. So you should be able to find out across the enterprise how I'm able to leverage AI so that, now we go back to your question about the market dominance. You lose the market automatically, for example, if you do not reply promptly. Now with chatbots, which are powered by AI, people are getting prompt responses to messages as soon as they communicate with companies. With such precision, over the last particularly 3 months, you've had a precision of having conversations like you do with human beings. Formerly, when it came like a year ago or two, you weren't having that kind of, you would be able to determine that, you should be able to distinguish.
Okay.
Now you're unable to distinguish between the two. So every organization must have the strategy. I mean, you have no time.
I'm enjoying the conversation, but we have to go. It's been great exchanging ideas with you, Philip Gameh, CEO, Web and Software. Appreciate your time. Hopefully next time we'll exchange some more ideas with you, but that's the one.